Hello, everyone. This is Kristen Fabella with the Orange County Coalition for Diversity in the Law. And today we have Meredith Williams. Meredith has been an active member of OCCDL for many years. She has almost perfect attendance at all of our events and had a baby. And she was just this powerful attorney, overall, an amazing human being. Meredith, would you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Meredith Williams. Legally now Meredith Sivakumar, but I'm keeping the Williams for my attorney brand since I've been an attorney for like 10 years now. Got to stick with the name. I'm an intellectual property litigator at Rutan Tucker. So dealing with trademark cases, copyright cases, trade secret theft, pretty much anything to do with folks' intellectual property. I have great partners who work on the litigation side and the prosecution side. So we sort of deal with everything in between. When a client who has a brand has someone else infringing on it, we go into war mode. If someone's just working on their trademark portfolio, wants to have brands internationally, we help them with that. And yeah, it's a ton of fun. I love it. Love my career. Love my family. You mentioned little baby Mira just joined us in November. And my husband Arjun has been a great support. He's also a general business litigator. So we're doing the double litigator lifestyle. It's been so far so good.
And Meredith, you are a partner at your firm, right?
Yes.
As an attorney, being a partner and being a new mother, how has that been for you?
It's been great, in large part because we have a lot of family support. It's definitely been teaching me more about time management skills. The baby tracker app is helping me, I think, get better at contemporaneous time entry. Because if you don't enter, that we did this feed at this time, we did this dirty diaper at this time, you look back at the end of the day, you're like, I have no idea. So I think it's giving me better time management skills, probably a little better delegation skills and communication skills as well, I'm hoping. But yeah, mostly it's just been a ton of fun. I have my VIC, very important client, my number one client, Miss Mira, just making sure she's taken care of. But man, when she smiles at you, it's like, it's worth $1 million. It's so good. So good.
So your client's teaching you all of these skills that are applicable to everywhere in life, but definitely the law. So time management. What other skills do you think young women, aspiring attorneys, regardless of gender, should practice developing?
Yeah, I think clear communication and setting expectations is probably the number one for young attorneys generally. Oftentimes, partners are so busy, delegating assignment itself can be difficult. So you as the associate want to take on a little bit of that mental effort in terms of, okay, when do you need this by? What is the client matter? Like you kind of want to take care of everything so that they can just worry about the big picture stuff. And then as you move up as an associate to more of a partner role, is sort of seeing how your little piece of the case fits into the rest of it, right? You've been assigned a research issue or a section of a brief. You kind of want to have a level of awareness about the broader case, right? Like, where does this brief fit into the case? What's our overall strategy? Because it's just going to make you a better lawyer. And also, like, the more mental weight you help the partners carry, the more they feel comfortable assigning you not just more little tasks, but more big picture tasks as well. It really does tie into having a family. The mental weight of the family is like taking care of everything for the baby. It was funny with Arjun and me, we had different timing on our nesting instincts. I had really heavy nesting instinct before baby was born. And then after baby was born, it was all Arjun figuring out, okay, taking out the trash, getting this set up, getting that set up. But yeah, the more you can take on of a case in terms of the big picture, the more I think you're going to find satisfaction in those little tasks, the more you're going to be entrusted with bigger tasks, and the more you're going to get both satisfaction and more responsibility entrusted to you in the case. Perfectionism is like a lifelong struggle for me. Like I was definitely a procrastinator, even in elementary school. I remember there were some projects where I waited till like the last day. And there's a really good podcast, which is Unfuck Your Brain. It deals specifically with lawyers having sort of these perfectionism issues and other issues. And essentially it's sort of like the fear of doing a bad job is so big that you're not able to start, but then the fear of not getting it done at all gets bigger and bigger. The goal for anyone who struggles with that sort of stuff should be to just identify and articulate the fear and then like move past it and just get a draft on paper. It's the hardest thing to do is to just get words on paper, get it done. I think a lot of times too, we just set unreasonable expectations for ourselves. I think it's important to sort of see the task for what it's just a task at hand. go at it, have confidence, see what you can do. And if you get a draft that's heavily marked up in red, that's okay. You're learning. That's definitely one thing that's sort of shifted in my perspective as a parent a little bit is I would never look at some, Mira does like, even like pooping in a diaper or whatever it is, like anything she does is like, oh, well, you're a bad person. You're a bad, like she's learning. And that we as parents, we're totally learning, right? So if we take an opportunity to learn and turn it into a judgment moment of, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this right or blah, blah, blah. Like it's almost crippling. And I think that's probably one of the reasons attorneys struggle with a lot more mental health issues and alcoholism is we tend to have this strong judgment instinct. But try to, if you can, as a young attorney, especially, just have grace with yourself that you're learning and like see things as an opportunity. Because the more you focus on that sort of momentary challenge as a growth opportunity, the more you're going to be able to move forward and just be a better and better lawyer. It's really hard when you, especially when you get that marked up draft, especially when you have maybe a stressed out partner yell at you, whatever it is, to see it as, okay, it didn't work so well. I'm learning to do it better. So it's like hard to be gracious and loving and patient with yourself, but it's so clutch. And it's a lot easier to do with a baby and someone else than it is to do with yourself, especially if you're really self-critical. But try to the sort of grace and love that you extend to your baby, your significant other, or someone you care about, a friend, and think about if a friend were going through this, how would you treat them? If you can extend that same graciousness to yourself, instead of being, judging, oh, I'm never going to make it as a lawyer, be like, I'm a baby lawyer, I'm learning, and this is a big step I just took forward. It's so hard. It starts in law school, right? I'm worried for my little girl that's going to start even earlier. Because when I was little, I got straight A's until I got one B, and I was so crushed by it. And I just try to have that, like, oh, I failed because I didn't make this grade or whatever it is. Life is too short for that. We can't spend time just bogged down and feeling like, oh, I didn't do XYZ. Like, look at all the things we can do. Like, it's too beautiful a life to be bogged down in failure or judgment or any of that. Sorry.
No, I love that. I love that.
Life is too short. Life is too short. You can't be sitting thinking about something that happened like a year ago. Honestly, I think even sometimes clients get tied up in things that have happened in the past and don't always make the best business decisions. That's why you try to help them see it from an outside perspective too, right? Like, okay, someone breached a contract, but what are you really going to be able to get at trial versus what are you going to be able to get at mediation? You kind of need that outside perspective to sometimes move on beyond the past a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. That was beautiful. Before we had started, we were talking about your husband and how he helps you. What does he say? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. He's got a brilliant perspective. I have a lot more hope for our daughter because he's just sort of like a happy, chill dude. Like I've always had this very terrible internal critic. He's always just been very chill about everything. So hopefully sometimes he says he's too carefree. So we're hoping it'll balance out for her. But yeah, definitely sort of having the mindset of or looking at things from an outside perspective, not always from your inner critic. But it's really nice to have that love and support from someone else who's like not in your head and does not share that inner critic perspective.
Oh, yeah. And you were showing us some of your wedding photos.
Yeah.
Before this, do you mind sharing this
I don't know if
one of them
they're
with
going to
us?
be too fuzzy.
That's okay.
This is the Arjun and me. We got us with our folks, and we did sort of the traditional wedding garb. I got my brother and sister-in-law, my sister, my cousin. There's my niece Everly, who was practiced at having a kiddo, all my bridesmaids, and then we did our outfit change into the Indian garb for the second half for the reception and everything. And man, that was a ton of fun. We just wanted to make sure to adopt all of the cultural things, all of the sort of passion things that we both have. We even had some like sci-fi or science stuff in the wedding because we had our meteorite bands that had traveled from a meteorite a sun that exploded like 4.5 billion years ago. That came to Earth, and that's how we got our rings. We tried to incorporate everything into the ceremony, including both Hindu and Christian scripture. We had, because we were both fans of Goo Goo Dolls, the walk-in song was Iris on cello, so that was kind of fun. But for me, the big thing was Be Thou My Vision, is a Christian hymn that actually is a song that dates back. It was written in honor of St. Patrick back in like I think 433. He defied a pagan king's law that no one would light a candle or light any fires on a night, and um, he actually become a Christian when he was like captured and taken by pirates. So he got very passionate about that, and when the king decreed no light on a hill, he lit a hill on fire. So everyone in the town
Oh,
so then a writer had written down a poem in honor, a song had been written down, and it was forgotten for like 1,500 years until Mary Byrne was a student who had then taken the poem and translated it. And that's when the hymn lyrics, "Be Thou My Vision," first came sort of back into the world, and the song came back as well. So that's a fun bit of trivia, which I didn't even know about that song until recently when I was curious about the history of it. I was like, I really like this hymn. Why does it say anonymous in the hymn book? It's a really,
oh.
really old one.
So now we know more
It-
about St. Patrick's Day. You are part of the Celtic Bar.
Yes, indeed. We meet every third Thursday. So every month, these last 2 months, we've had generous sponsors. In January, we had the owner of Muldoon's, Mario Meredith, who's also like a Rutan client, just a great human being. Normally sponsors the food and Irish appetizers that we have, and that month also sponsored the first hour of drinks. Last month, February, we had Regal Court Reporting sponsor the first hour of drinks. This coming month, we're doing the third Tuesday is March 21st. So it's a little after St. Patrick's Day, but we're doing a whiskey tasting, and we have reps coming out from Powers Irish Whiskey, which is a great brand. Actually, they're in the same portfolio as Jameson, Redbreast, a couple other ones, really well-known brands. And we're doing, the tasting is only $15 if you're a member and register in advance. If you're not a member, it's $25. You could become a member, which is only $25, and get that $10 discount. But one of the things we were excited to do for this month is there's so many new judges out, and I was kind of thinking like, maybe not all these judges know about the Celtic Bar, so I wanted to extend the invite to the judiciary. So we're making that tasting free for all judicial members. Rutan Tucker was generous enough to sponsor the event, so we could do that. And we're really looking forward to getting some of the judges out who are newer judges to meet us, see Muldoon's. They don't have to drink whiskey. They're still just good Irish apps if drinking is not your thing, but it's a really good time. It's an organization that focuses on camaraderie and really sort of building a community in the legal community, because I think it's an easy thing to get very isolated in whatever role you're in, whether it's civil practice, criminal practice. And so we just wanted to open invitation to the community to come join us, and it'll be a lot of fun. We have our bagpiper Andy there. We often have Crack in the Stone perform. They're a really great Irish band. One of the past presidents, Scott Wells, a leader in that. And yeah, that'll be the first one coming up is March 21st. We're also going to be at the April 20th OCCDL charitable golf tournament. We have a really crazy fun booth that's almost in the Harley Davidson style, very striking orange and black colors. Regal Court Reporting is going to be joining us for that as well. And yeah, our monthly meetings, we'll keep going the third Tuesday of the month. And we have our big trip this year is our CLE trip to Ireland in November. So November 3rd through 10th. If you want to get CLE credits, sleep in a castle, join excursions like seeing falconry and various things. It's coming together. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to sell out soon. So if you're interested, come check out the website and get registered as soon as possible, because it's going to be a ton of fun.
Wow, that was the entire year.
Mostly our
I would
awesome
love
board
to
of
join.
directors and past presidents who got this stuff together. I'm along for the ride and having a good time.
And earlier you said that you were really drawn to Rutan. What was it about Rutan that really interested you?
Yeah, the first thing that interested me was they were looking for an IP litigator, and I was really interested in focusing on intellectual property law. But then beyond that, once I actually met and interviewed with folks there, it just had such a positive, vibrant culture across the board. Very active associates committee, very active diversity committee, very active women's strategy committee. And then also just individual people I saw there, I kind of knew that I had mentors on the path ahead of me, including my main mentor I work with, Michael Adams, is just like a badass litigator, and I've learned so much from him over the last 5 years. It's been a wonderful experience. And then also seeing female equity partners, right? Because it says a lot about those women as individuals, and you can reach out to them and learn from them and find out how did you do that? Like, how did that happen? But it also says a lot about the firm. That is a firm that really cares about and supports women and gives women, who are interested in having families or not, just opportunities to make it as a partner. I think that's something that's beautiful about Rattan is that it really is a firm that supports people no matter where they're coming from and no matter what they're doing. It's a firm that really cares about its members, cares about attorneys, associates, partners, everybody being successful and thriving. And I think that translates also to caring about your clients thriving, right? It's a firm that gives a lot of time, thought, and attention to people, as opposed to treating things in sort of a regimented, firm way. And one of the things I think that is a bigger question for law firms generally is the hours requirements that are quote unquote fair. Are those necessarily actually fair for people who have families, right? Like if it's a 2,000 hour requirement, 2,200 hour requirement, whatever it is that really going to be realistic for someone who has paternity or maternity leave? Are we really enabling people to raise their families and do that? But that's sort of a bigger question. In terms of Rattan, absolutely love the firm, had great female partner mentors, great male partner mentors, but just a great culture that's supportive of women, supportive of diverse candidates, and really just looking out for those people. And I've had the opportunity and pleasure of looking out for associates coming up behind me too, and just to make sure, when someone's struggling, I've seen some diverse candidates struggling, whatever it is, if you're a first generation lawyer, whatever your other cultural background, there's a lot to learn there. And so I've tried to reach out and make sure that people are getting the support that they need to be like, okay, here's what you got to do. Figure out sort of your path forward. And the number one thing that's crystallized for me recently is how important the conversations I've had with successful attorneys are, and how important that's been. When you see someone that's really thriving, that's really getting it, and you're like, man, I want your life. Just go talk to them, find out what they're doing. Whether it's a successful equity partner who's also a mother, whether it's a managing partner of a firm, whether it's someone who's in-house just crushing it and seems to really be enjoying their life. And you can start to pick together, the more data points you get of how people make their dream lives happen, you pick together what you like and don't like about your career and just push it in the right direction. So it may be at the moment you're sort of feeling crushed and beat up, but you can see going ahead, okay, here's what I'm working towards and here's how I'm going to get there, and can plot that path once you talk to more people who are thriving, figure out how you can thrive.
And my final question, what advice would you give to your daughter?
Oh my gosh. To my daughter. So I have to repeat my dad's joke. My mom and dad are both lawyers. So people would ask them, do you want your kids to be, attorneys, practicing attorneys like you? And my dad's joke was always, well, we kind of always hope they'd be smart enough to be clients instead of attorneys. But I think my advice to her will be definitely follow your heart and find what you're passionate about. My grandpa on my dad's side always said, I can't wait to get up for work in the morning. And if you don't have that passion about your job, you just figure out how to get there. Sometimes you just work for the paycheck and you drudge through it, but find the aspects that excite you. And there's usually a way, like it depends on the firm, but there's usually a way to craft your career so you're doing more of that. Like if you're really passionate about drafting briefs and you hate the client relations side or the billing side or whatever it is, figure out a way to work with your partners and fellow associates to just do more brief, or if you hate drafting, but you're like really good at case management, you like doing that, figure out a way to work with people so you can be focused more on that. Right now at our firm, Gloria Lee is just like a client relations business development wizard. I think she decided at one point in her career, like, I'm really tired of this side of practicing law. I want to just focus on that. And I think she approached Rattan, and Rattan was like, yeah, let's do it. Like focus on that, do that. It's important to focus on your strengths and focus on the things that make you passionate, things that make you feel like I can't wait to get up for work in the morning, and just go that direction and make it happen that way. And that's definitely something that I want for Mira. I want her to be passionate and excited every day to get up for whatever it is, school or work, or for now it's just playtime and naps. And it's kind of, for me, it's a little bit selfish for me, right? Like when I see that smile, it's worth $1 million and just the whole world is all right. So I want to see her smile at life. So every day, if she can focus on what makes her happy and go for that, then I think we'll be in good shape.
Meredith, thank you so much. This is extremely uplifting. We're going to need to hear more from you and Mira as she grows up, but
For
Thank you
sure.
for your time. And thank you for all of the time that you spend with OCCDL in the past
Yeah.
and today.
Thank you so much for doing it. It's a great organization. I've been so happy to see it just the organization thriving and doing so many great things. I mean, the awards reception this fall was awesome, and you guys are putting in so much good. Even working in an organization, right? It can be like some drudge work and some admin. It's like this is a lot going on, but I think it's grown to be such a wonderful organization that does so much to support, not just support other community organizations, but now to do its own great work. And I've just been so rewarded and proud to see that happen. So really great work to you guys.